Welcome back to the LCS. We are heading on into Game 4 between FlyQuest and NRG. FlyQuest has taken a 2-1 series lead. They are sitting on match point. I'm Azale, joined again by Raz and Kobe to talk a little bit about the draft and if NRG can come back or if Kobe is becoming homeless.
That's
because
my
he bet
question,
everything
Kobe.
he owns on NRG.
I think the world wants to hear from you because your house is on the line here.
Yeah, he said everything. He's all in. Does that mean like your clothes? Like...
You have a nice looking car.
Yeah.
I said full net worth. That's everything.
Yeah.
I hope that you guys are willing to allow me to stay at your houses.
That's a no from me.
That's a no.
You can come visit. You know, it'd be like you have a cat. I have two, so.
Perfect.
Oh.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm going to Azale's. I didn't want to go to Raz's house anyway.
Well, you know what?
I'm taking suggestions now, though. What do you think is going to be Bwipo's pick this time around?
Ooh.
Because we've had his Volley Bear show up, his Darius show up.
I think he's had too much fun. They might, Nuke Duck might put him on a Renekton or a Cassante, you're right.
Back to the Cassante.
Yeah.
Back on Cassante.
I'm trying to think of what would
duty.
be actually a fun pick that's within that kind of
I
thing
want to
realm.
see his
Urgot.
Olaf.
Let's get his Urgot or his Olaf.
Yeah, I want to
You
see
know-
his Olaf. They did ban it last time.
You know what I've been seeing a little bit in solo queue for some time? It's never reared its head on stage. Corki top lane. I've
You
seen
wanna
Bwipo
see it?
play it. It's fun. I haven't seen it, so I want to see it now. I don't want to see a mid lane, but I want to see a top lane.
You know what it's going to look like?
What?
He's going to attack the minions for 30 minutes. And then
Yeah.
he's going to show up to a team fight just like a
Yeah.
mid lane Corki.
Yeah, I think it was a couple days ago, actually. I was watching Dhokla stream, and he was literally playing against I Will Trade, a.k.a. Bwipo. And Bwipo was on the Corki.
Was Dhokla playing Varus top? Because every single time I ever open his stream, he's playing Varus top.
He was playing Yone. It was close enough.
Well, he ain't playing Yone this game.
Yeah.
You don't
Nope.
get your wish, Raz.
Damn.
All right, well, Yone going to get banned out by FlyQuest, has been banned consistently throughout this series. A double ban by NRG towards Massu. He did get the Ezreal once. It has been banned since then, and Senna has been pretty consistently banned by NRG. Emily touched on this earlier, but this was one of the picks that they were always really well known for.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of interesting that they are not willing to play it on blue side, so they have to ban it.
Yeah,
away.
you say interesting, I say worrisome.
Yeah.
It's always interesting whenever a team's having internal conversations and you're like, we think Senna is really OP. We'll pick it when we can, but what is their prio on it? Unless if they have any kind of information on what FlyQuest plays, they're probably just over prioritizing the ban on first ban because they're like, yeah, we don't want to pick it, and we don't want to see them pick it.
Yeah,
and
I
that's
mean-
just sad.
I just feel like when NRG was kind of at their best, it was, you know, them playing this sort of style that helped to enable their really aggressive soul lanes, right? When they were playing melee soul laners, aggressive jungler,
Yeah.
they'd play, you know, Senna plus X melee in bot lane, they'd be farming it up. You have the ultimates to assist on these cross-map dives, cross-map aggressive plays. So it is really weird to see them move that heavily away from it. FlyQuest banning out the Ashe as well as the Azir. So you talked about this before the break, Raz, about that potential for Azir to be grabbed first pick. Clearly, FlyQuest is worried about Palafox grabbing that as well, so they're going to be banning it out.
That's not happening, fan. That's not happening. Don't even think you want to
Ivern
see
was
it
left
happen.
open, though. Ivern was left open. This has been a target ban against Contractz for the entire split, for multiple splits, because of how much he actually destroyed a lot of scrims with it. And this opens up energy to a much more stable style composition. We all are talking about, oh yeah, I loved it when they played, you know, all these melee solo laners and they were split pushing and they were trapping people on side lanes.
How
and
about
going,
an Ivern and a Braum and
Yeah,
280 carries?
exactly. How about some nice team fight with some Ivern shields on you and some multiple AD carries?
The most impressive I've seen NRG recently was when it went up against Dignitas. It was a lost game, but they had a huge lead based off of Ivern, Braum, double AD carry. They'd play really well in Grub's fight or Ripped Herald fight. I think they are well practiced at being able to pick up a lead in that series. This series is going to be a little difficult. I want to see what FlyQuest ends up going for. Leona's an interesting one with Braum still on the table.
So Corki's up, Zeri's up. These are some really good champions with Ivern. You know, some double really good DPS. These types of things for energy. Let's see what they want to grab early here before the next round of bans come in.
The Bermuda Trapezoid.
Trapezoid.
That's pretty good.
Flowers going to love that one.
Oh, man. Well, we'll see what they're going to do.
Don't look at his Rumble. Okay, unbanned and they pick up the Rumble.
This is Rumble plus MF. They need setup now, and they need setup badly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably not going to come from Palafox, so you basically need
Nautilus or Rell.
a Nautilus or Rell. Yeah. I mean, sometimes people go Alistar, but I don't always love it as much. I think Rell is by far the best with this sort of combo because you really can have that long lockdown where you go in, you have the Magnet Storm, then you stun them off of it. They're getting pulled back into that equalizer as well. But FlyQuest have the ability to throw some bans towards those support engages. Like if I'm FlyQuest, I'm saying ban out the Nautilus, ban out the Rell. Even if you're not that worried about those champions as far as like lane matchups, I just think compositionally, NRG's comp needs it so badly.
Yeah. Even though I was saying Braum earlier, I actually think, okay, they went for the Braum ban. I was going to say that I didn't like Braum here now, mostly because
they have no engage.
Yeah, they have no engage, and especially if you're a Miss Fortune, you do not want to chase into them. So either their comp requires FlyQuest to really go in, which is fine, but otherwise, you're not being able to lock them down. So now, Nautilus or Rell are wide open, and I think that's great for NRG.
Because I struggle to think what pick there could be that Palafox could like save this with if they couldn't get engaged.
The only thing that came to mind to me would be Nico, but I feel like they need something else for mid lane.
So much AP on your top side, right? Then it's like you have magic damage, Rumble, Ivern, and then if you go Nico mid, I feel like your draft is just already garbage.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of that would be that big of AoE, setup in CC and brings that utility though.
And also Aurora, I forgot Aurora is not playable this week.
Yep.
So that would have been actually a perfect pick.
We saw that from Immortals, I think, last week, right? Where they did the MF Aurora. I think it was Immortals. And that combo obviously pretty strong, but again, disabled.
He's banned everywhere right now though.
It's disabled everywhere, and it is, of course, magic damage even if it wasn't banned, so I don't think it would really fix the issue. They're going Alistar, so they're more worried about Alistar and Braum, not that concerned, I guess, about the Rell, about the Nautilus, so those are available. We'll see if NRG is going to go towards one of those here. And Jhin may be the option once again. FBI already played it once this series. Looked pretty strong on it. That was in their Game 2 win.
Yeah. So far, I'm trying to figure out what FlyQuest actually needs going into 4-5. It's actually been a long time since I've seen mid get deprioritized so heavily into just now looking for counters.
Yeah, just holding it for 5th pick. So, I mean, I think for FlyQuest, it totally makes sense, right? Palafox is going to have to blind his mid. We'll see what they do want to go for. Bard is like okay, but Bard doesn't hold them in place, after. So I think Rell makes a lot of sense. I think this is the best option to me. You can make an argument for Nautilus as well. Rell's going to come through kind of as expected. That didn't get banned out. Still a little bit surprised by the FlyQuest bans because I felt like Rell was kind of the primary one that worked so well with this comp.
Yeah.
Now it's just Palafox's pick. And
Corki maybe?
Yeah, I feel like you need physical damage, right?
Yeah.
So it's probably just Corki. It's probably nothing too exciting. Jason's banned out, Corki's available. There could be a Zeri as well, angle if we wanted to go towards that, but I think Corki makes a lot of sense. It gives you that hyper carry that Ivern is there to kind of buff up and protect.
All right, Quad, what you got for us? Something spicy or something normal here? They're taking their sweet time with it.
More range would be nice, and he's a great Hui player. He's a great Hui player, and it might be good to set up for a Jhin W, but not too sure what he's going to go for. Oh, we're starting to see a lot more Smolder mid.
I actually quite like Smolder mid. I think it's pretty strong, and especially because Corki has actually taken quite a few nerfs, you can actually trade aggressively with this champion.
Yeah, it's actually amazing. Now, of course, Zale's going to be heading over to an interview, I'm pretty sure, but we're going to be sending one straight to the casters. So take it away, guys. That we said to the casters, one more reminder that you can now subscribe to the LCS Twitch channel. So get those emotes ready, and let's get to the game.
Raz, I was about to read your part on the prompter for you as you were tossing it to me, and I was like, wait a second, Raz didn't actually read that. We need a Raz emote. That's what we need.
That was a seamless toss from Raz. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, that was, there's no way that there was anything in a prompter for that one. But no, Moz, we really need a Raz But, Emily, you were talking to us right before they tossed it over to us. Smolder, you're hyped for this here in the mid lane.
Well, because I was like, okay, they're going to go Jhin on R4, right? They have set up for it. And then it's like, okay, what big damage dealer do you want in the mid lane? I have absolutely loved Smolder mid. Maybe people will say, oh, it's because you saw BDD play it in the series where they beat Gen G. And yeah, maybe that's part of it. But also,
maybe that is right.
But also, I think Smolder mid can be a really, really excellent pick into this Corki in particular. So I really like it coming out of FlyQuest.
I mean, we got to see it in the LCS yesterday. 100 Thieves versus Dignitas. It wasn't quad playing, it was quid playing. Only a single letter of difference. And the man showcased exactly how well the Smolder mid could do. Jensen kept scrapping with him and giving him plenty of opportunities to get more dragon training, and the Smolder just took over.
I will say I don't expect a level 1 lane kill to set the Smolder
I mean, I didn't expect that yesterday.
I didn't either. I don't expect it to happen here
Okay.
for Quad. I'll say
Okay.
that.
I'm going to agree with that. We've also done a lot of talking this series about if Bwipo's ahead, FlyQuest does well. If Bwipo's behind, FlyQuest does poorly. Our stats guy did a little bit more digging into NRG, and we have one on NRG. If Huhi's behind, it's unwinnable.
Damn.
He's the only NRG player who has not won a game when he's behind at 14 minutes. So of all the players, and it kind of does speak to this actual series as well, because when Massu, Busio pop off, NRG doesn't have the go button, but if Huhi has the lead, he does actually have a strong way that he would like to play the game. So it's twofold, I think. It's the fact that if he's behind, he still wants to play the game through him and it's not working. And if he's ahead, they can get that success.
Well, I raise you a different line of thinking here.
Okay.
Summer 2024 has been AD carry meta.
Yes.
Who enables AD carries? Supports. If your support is behind, your AD carries can't be set up for success. You lose the game.
It's true. Could be both.
Equally viable.
Yeah.
Equally possible. Equally potential here in this game as Massu and Busio.
Equally potential.
Potential is a verb now. We're just going to roll with it. As Quad and Palafox both traded very
Spooky.
low
Yep.
in mid. As top lane, Bwipo is going to scare Dhokla away.
This is
That's
a
about it.
weird swap.
Yeah, I don't know what's
because
happening.
We have the top laner and the AD carry
Yeah.
in top lane currently. Emily?
I mean, I think another thing about lane swaps, as I'm sure you guys are dying to know, is how you can affect your mid matchup, right? So we want to set this mid matchup well for Quad. And even though it doesn't look like they're going to be able to get a kill or anything onto Palafox, it will allow him to get the wave into a better state as he ends up going bot by himself. Interesting.
Yeah, well, Bwipo does have teleport, so if a wave crashes and there's no one in position to dive
Yep,
it,
here we go.
then this is just also extra insurance that he is not diveable, but it then also means that they're putting no dive threat on Dhokla, so it's just one of those choices that end up being made in lane swaps where it will end up being fairly neutral for now, and now Huhi gets his turn to try and impact mid if Quad gives an opening.
Dhokla should at least be able to farm up most of these minions underneath the tier 1
Oh,
here.
they could
Massu
three-man
can't
gank
really
him.
do a whole
Yep.
lot to him, I wouldn't think. Quad trying to flap his way away from danger. Sidesteps that root collar, so no real impact on the dragon there except for that 20-second cooldown on the escape mechanism early.
I think the top lane's a little bit dangerous. If Dhokla ever lands a harpoon, he can really just start running Massu down.
Are we going to see that right now? Harpoon.
Ah, missed.
Up. Yeah, that's...
Shucks.
Could have seen a little bit more, maybe. And another timeline, perhaps. Quad lands another snot bubble on Palafox here, just trying to get this wave shoved up. Does drink an extra swig of the potions. I believe that was a cookie because it restored mana as well. And once he kills these last couple of minions, I would expect him to probably take his recall, use that first TP.
I think
Yep,
so
but
as well.
he will get the recall off, and I mean, like, the early action around the mid lane coming through from this swap is particularly interesting to me because, again, FlyQuest really want to get Smolder into a good position in this game, get his stacking going really early, and then are also hoping that NRG, don't respond as well to this lane swap, and they can get advantages in their side lanes as well. And avoid the MF lane.
Yeah. Avoid the
And,
MF lane.
and I mean, like, Rumble push. Like, there are laning matchups that you avoid as well, right?
Busio waiting patiently in the brush. Not anymore. Contractz is still hanging around. This Ivern has been kept away from him so far the entire series. Now finally getting a chance to play it here with their backs against the wall. NRG will be knocked into the lower bracket to face Dignitas on Friday. If they lose this game. Friday, yep, it's not just Saturday and Sunday. We got 3 games next weekend. We'll get to see TL on one of Saturday or Sunday. I can't remember which.
Not on
Cloud9
Friday, but
on
other
the
teams
other
are on
one.
Friday.
Right, and the first lower bracket match is on Friday. Again, the loser of this series going up against Dignitas on that one. That will be our first elimination of playoffs.
Yeah. So
There it is.
8/23, Friday, LCS. What we don't have on the graphic, the Friday after this Friday, also LCS playoffs.
True.
Yeah.
Is it?
Two Fridays in a row we have.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So plan in advance. Friday,
don't be caught off guard like me.
LCS playoffs.
Oh, interrupt there a little bit, maybe? Not quite.
Yeah.
All right. Busio's just going to walk away from it. We've got a very, very quiet early game here.
This is a quiet lane swap.
Yeah.
Emily, defend the lane swap.
Emily, defend.
I mean, for me, this lane swap is actually all about the mid lane because both junglers keep crossing. They sent, they sent, oh my gosh, Busio down from topside to affect it super early. Like, to me, for FlyQuest side, this is not only about laning matchups and XP for your solo laners, but it's also, or for your side laners, but it's also really about getting Quad into a good position.
Right, because at the end of the day, they just want him to be able to be late game Smolder, thinking that they have the better scaling overall. I think they're also in a position where Inspired wants to make sure he can get off to the races and doesn't want to get pulled to any lane in this lane swap. And I think that could probably be why they've played it the way they have, right? Like having Bwipo top lane with the AD carry at the start, never really giving a window for a dive to happen. Whereas in the first game when they did lane swaps, they set up the fact that they were going to be able to dive the Scion, that Bwipo was going to be potentially diveable, and it was like the riskier approach. Whereas this one has been seemingly the most conservative lane swap that is almost possible.
We'll see if Contractz does want to do anything on this top side. I do think Contractz on Ivern has been a really good pick for NRG in the past. So we'll see if, again, in a double AD comp, Ivern is just such a benefit. And we'll see how they'll be able to pilot it.
I do like the fact that we get to talk about this now because Ivern has been banned so much against Contractz because he's been so good on Ivern. And it doesn't even take that many games for him to draw these bans. Career-wise, he's 8-4 on Ivern, which may not seem like much. His career win rate is about 50%, so it's definitely one of his better champions. But I think specifically, kind of across the globe, teams that really understand how to play with and around Ivern, the pick just looks so unbelievably broken, and this is a very good situation for him. And because of the respect he's been drawing with bans, you know he's just been schooling people with it all split in scrims.
Plus, it's not just something that, hey, can you play it? It's can I, as the person against it, properly navigate the map versus a pick that plays very differently from so many other junglers.
On the flip side, Inspired has also played Ivern recently, so I think he's a jungler who's going to be welcome to this challenge. One of the reasons I think they were willing to leave it open in the pick ban phase and instead opted to ban that Azir. But it's just going to be really interesting to see if this is the way, if the Ivern is the way that NRG pushes this to a game 5.
Yeah. And we see lane swapping back to general standard, except the top laners are in bot lane, and the bot laners are in top lane.
So why is this cool?
I mean, what? I feel so attacked right now, honestly. It's cool because the Smolder mid is going to be able to do a lot of damage later.
Isn't that?
I mean, it is a reason.
Yeah, for sure.
Agreed.
All right. Why isn't he bot lane?
And after all that, Lillia's in a good position.
True.
Bwipo is slightly ahead in XP.
Okay.
I don't know what you guys want from me.
Well, as we know, you live by Bwipo, you die by Bwipo.
True.
I think I may have heard a stat about that before. Massu and Busio are, they got to know something's going on up here, right? Got to know something's a little bit fishy. Their own jungler's going back, so they don't want to do anything audacious in what they only can perceive as a 2v2. And now there's still no action. 45 seconds and we should get a Ring of Fire just like Nexus Blitz. Nobody has PvP'd yet.
That would change things.
That would change Summer's Rift a lot.
To be fair to the lane swap enjoyers in the room, this could be 0 kills even if it was standard lanes. This is call spade a spade because at this point, we have, quote, standard lanes in the top lane, and they're playing so conservatively at the moment because part of it is, I think, Inspired. He might be back to the CEO of Full Clear. Like, he took he took a summer vacation. He just, like, did undercover.
He got a severance package.
Yeah.
Now he's back at a new company.
He did that undercover CEO thing in the first few games. Be like, actually, let me be your assistant.
He was working
and help
in the
you out.
mailroom.
Absolutely. But now he's definitely back to being the CEO of Full Clear.
All right. I mean, for me, it's honestly all about mid lane. Like, there is a reason why you see both junglers continuously just revisiting this mid lane. Both teams want to get their mid laners ahead. I want to say this is the most mid lane action from jungle attention that we've seen all series.
And I feel like if we're looking at both teams, kind of handshaking on the idea that this fourth game is about mid, that is far more of a daring and risky claim to make for NRG than it is for FlyQuest, because Quad has been a very solid player and a very solid laner for this team, not just in this series, which he has been, but throughout the split. Whereas again, we already talked about Palafox's comparison of now to when he was at his peak. So NRG putting that faith in him, we'll have to see if it can pay off. They are going to find a potential angle here on Busio's Leona, who tries to flash away, who tries to escape, but it's bullet time and the clock strikes noon. FBI gets paid.
Doing it in the jungle of FlyQuest as well, building off that bot prio. So a really nice translation of their pressure there. Also being able to invade a little bit and get some deep vision on Inspired, making FlyQuest back foot.
Oh, but now the curtain call opens up. Contractz and Daisy trying to beat up on Quad here, while the bullets will be blocked. Nicely done there from Huhi, protecting his AD carry as Quad escapes from the Ivern. Ivern is very annoying when he has Daisy, when he has all the slows from his shields and whatnot, but he's often not a threat on his own.
Yeah, I also feel like you see the MF Jhin matchup in a nutshell in that entire exchange, right? Where like Jhin needs the setup because otherwise a lot of those bullets are just gonna tickle until he until he gets to the fourth bullet. Like it's really a lot about setup. That's why they want this damage dealer in the Smolder. Whereas MF can be very, very dangerous.
Bwipo cut through the wave here as the equalizer is used by Dhokla to destroy the wave on the other side. Both of them now going to take their opportunity, go in for a reset. Second pot of grubs spawning 12 minutes into the game. Remember that the first three went over uncontested to NRG as they were traded for the Drake for FlyQuest. Quad wants to escape. He already used the flash. Smolder ain't long for this world, and Palafox gets the second kill of the game for NRG.
This is huge right now. They have so much pressure across top and mid that this is the second pick they've been able to secure. Getting the flash as well as the kill just kind of adds insult to injury for Quad. Palafox's game 2 on the Corki was one of the best games he's played all year, and being in this position where it's hard for people on FlyQuest to actually apply pressure to him, as well as having Trinity Force and tier stacking, means he could be poised to take us to game 5 if he plays well.
Ooh, Huhi going in for the engage on Bwipo. Dhokla wants to follow it up a little bit, but Bwipo with ulti and flash both going to commit that ulti to escape. Palafox brings the wave into the tier 1 turret, but Bwipo goes back underneath the turret to try to destroy the wave, bait NRG into a bad fight, but Contractz secures the kill on the enemy top laner. FlyQuest has already lost one, and Daisy's tanking up underneath the turret, trying to make it 2. The Drake secured by Inspired on the other side of the map at the same time, but oh man, this is like being stranded in the ocean watching the sharks circle you. Busio is stuck underneath the tier 1 turret. Help is not coming, and NRG are feeling good 4-0 with 15 seconds to go until the turret plates fall.
And Palafox so happy about that one. 2-0-2 now, plates in hand. Quad gets a little bit of gold on the other side, but this is looking a lot more like Game 2 NRG, where they're very well coordinated.
Yeah, and for me, it, again, starts with Contractz and where he's been able to be on the map. We've talked about how super comfortable he is with this Ivern, and for as much as we've been talking about, oh, you know, they want to, FlyQuest want to get the Smolder ahead, they really want to get their mid lane in a really good position, NRG, as we've talked about, have gotten Palafox into a great position now. He's 2-0-2. He's up 1.3k over the Smolder, already Triforce completed. Right now, he is incredibly dangerous.
Yeah, I will say, though, 0-0-4 on Huhi, and as we talked about at the start of this game, if he's ahead, they have a chance of winning. We're at the break point, 14 minutes. 6-4 might be 7-4. It's definitely not that 0-14. Another play being initiated here by NRG and Huhi.
Bwipo almost has dominance, but the cooldown still has a few more seconds left. And those few crucial seconds are the difference maker. Palafox on the killing spree now, as Massu and Inspired want to go after FBI, but the bullet time forces the flash back out. As soon as FBI sees the bowling ball miss from Lillia, he can immediately turn his guns back on him. 5-0 game for NRG, over 2,000 gold ahead, and it's about to be 3 if Palafox can take out the tier 1. Contractz and Huhi at the same time. They're going in. The enemy red buff is the target, and Inspired's got to try to get away fast. He still wants to try to contest it here. Will use the smite to secure. Huhi and Contractz now looking to make their exit as Mom is summoned in. And that's the first kill of the game for Inspired and FlyQuest, punishing NRG's invade.
NRG bites off a little bit more than they should have, but the pressure is still there. There was a lot that had to be expended for FlyQuest. Dhokla gets to push up this wave, crash it. It's going to cost Bwipo a few minions, and that gold lead's still pretty substantial.
Yeah, and they should be able to get push in mid off of this as well, because both Busio and Massu are going to be resetting here. The big thing, though, is if they hadn't overextended just a little bit there, right? They would have gotten top tier 1 and first rotation onto that rift, right? They would have had such an easy setup. So now that this wave is crashing, Dhokla should be able to get this. We'll see who goes for Rift Herald next. NRG should still have a better rotation on it, but FlyQuest do have this ward here if they want to contest. So we see their
Huhi.
Yeah, Huhi just does not want to let Bwipo get away. Contractz ready to join now too. Palafox is going to keep clearing the waves.
Dhokla doesn't have TP. This could be a 5v4 for FlyQuest.
Yeah, FlyQuest really bringing everybody down here to protect Bwipo. Tier 1 turret is about to die. Bwipo does get stunned by the Shattering Strike, but NRG... Oh! The last little Void Baby doesn't kill it. That has to be 1 HP on the turret. Or, like, I legit can't see color on the health bar. 27 out of 5K. It's not very much. 0.05%.
Okay, we're not going to get to see. I love it sometimes when people try and go kill a really low turret when they don't have the minion debuff, and it just like rejects them and hits them.
0.5, not 0.05. I added an extra 0. That was a mistake. Quad might have made a mistake right now. Should not be that far up. This Smolder. This is not the Smolder that we saw yesterday. This is not the hyper-accelerated state of Dragon training. This is not, I've almost got rapid fire cannon, you can't leave your base. Quad Smolder has not been able to scale at the speed that they would like. He's still doing all right. Still has 140 stacks at 17 minutes, but he will be a little bit delayed compared to where they would want him to be at this point. 3,500 gold lead for NRG. FBI can't quite secure that tier 1 turret here in the mid lane to make the difference.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's still a chance, but the big thing for me, again, is looking over at Palafox and where he's at, and how every time FlyQuest tried to make a move around mid lane, NRG were also trying to make moves around mid lane. Just both teams recognizing how crucial mid was to this game. And also, I mean, I've really liked that little rotation of play from NRG. They were able to get push onto top side as well, even off of that play on bot side. And this is more what I'd like to see from them, right? Like recognizing when they can make cross-map plays, really taking advantage of their leads.
And I think this next Drake is pretty important. I'm a little surprised FlyQuest is fighting it, because now they're kind of going for soul. They're down 3,000 gold. If they lose this particular fight, it will make that gold lead potentially untenable, but they're in the river at least thinking about the contest, wondering if they could get it for free.
Well, Bwipo does have everything ready to go. He will be put into top lane right now. He can teleport in with the flash, with the Dominus, but nobody's going to overcommit to the Drake here just yet. NRG knows how low this tier 1 turret is. Knocking this down will make the setup for the Drake that much easier, and with Palafox just being as far ahead as he is, it's very easy to just force that.
Yeah, good recognition from NRG, knowing that they can go for mid-prio, get a much easier setup on this Drake. Bwipo should be able to get damage down onto that top tier 1, but this is going to be a free Drake for NRG.
All right.
This is how I would expect this to play out when FlyQuest has the 2 early Drakes, but they are the team in a deficit. I think the highest chance of victory is to trade Drakes for gold until Soul becomes a threat.
Right.
So that's why Bwipo is able to get that first turret for FlyQuest. It marginally closes the gold lead. It's a fight that they might not have been able to win anyway.
Teleport coming in for FlyQuest. They want the pick on Palafox. Mom provides the extra firepower needed, and the shutdown money goes to Bwipo.
Even more gold.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily a direct trade for Drake, but they catch Palafox sleeping a little bit now because there was so much expended energy trying to get something back in mid lane.
Yeah, NRG really does not want to allow that 600 gold shutdown to just go away for free. But Inspired and Massu are here in time to defend the tier 2 turret. Okay.
Yeah, and Smolder should be able to clean up this turret on bot side.
All right, Bwipo still looking for his angle here.
Whoa.
He's made his way to FBI. The sleep finally arrives. The heal from Redemption, keeping the carry alive. But right as he tries to go for the bullet time, Bwipo shuts him down. The slow from Smolder connects on multiple targets on NRG, and Inspired takes out Huhi as well. That's the bot lane duo of NRG erased off Summoner's Rift.
And that's the window that FlyQuest was looking for. That play looked insane by Bwipo to just fly into the team like that, but this is one of those Bwipo and Inspired moments that works.
Yeah, and they recognize, Bwipo recognizes he can go in. Inspired immediately follows up. Busio is already coming off the side. And now we see Bwipo is actually able to go immediately onto MF. We talk about these two carries in Jhin and MF, having the tools to get on them, interrupt these ultimates, and then once Smolder arrives, this is how you want to set up this team comp, right? You want to put things in place for Jhin to fire off and Smolder to be able to do the damage.
And the other important thing I'm noticing there, Bwipo anticipated that the entire time because he saved Ruthless Predator.
Yep.
When he jumps on FBI the first time through, yes, you can already see the sleep coming in from your Lillia. You can already see the Redemption ready to fire from the enemy Ivern. He waits Ruthless Predator for multiple auto attacks, even though he has it ready, because the only job is to stop bullet time. You do that, you win. Nice situational awareness there to recognize that and execute on it. And what was a 3,500 gold lead, my friends, has now shrank down to barely over 1,000 for NRG.
And 2,000 of that gold lead is here in the mid lane, but that's going to be less relevant when that 182 number on Smolder gets higher.
Yep.
225. When it gets to 225, I think that's going to negate a lot of that mid lane power difference, and that's kind of the moment that FlyQuest wanted to get to without too much damage. So this game, prior to what just happened, was very reminiscent to me of Game 2 with NRG, where it was also a situation where FlyQuest had two early Drakes, and NRG was having a large gold lead, but that's a game where NRG was able to finish it out. The macro from FlyQuest throughout the year has been a lot better than the macro for NRG. So if the series were to end because of this, it would be very indicative of the way their seasons have played out, because NRG was absolutely in a winning position with that 3,500 gold lead, but they made a few slip-ups, Palafox getting caught, FBI getting caught, and now we're in a very even-looking game state.
No.
NRG going to clear out some vision here in the topside river. The Omega Crab should be secured by Contractz. Very powerful crab, the strongest of all crabs on Summoner's Rift, because of the incredible burst of vision that you get to immediately guarantee control over this barren area. Huhi back over the wall, clears out that last hit on that last ward. And so now FlyQuest are going to have to work their way back out into neutral territory here, make sure that NRG just does not get uncontested control over this. Inspired committing the ulti after Huhi, but it doesn't really work out so great. The McHale's is completed for Contractz. That's the other thing you have to remember. We talked a little bit earlier about how playing against Ivern is so different from playing against most other junglers. He buys these cheap thrift store support items that you don't normally expect a jungler to be able to save people with.
Yeah. That definitely caught Inspired a little bit off guard. I do wonder, though, if that was just a really bad look there by Inspired. I didn't think that they were dying, even without the McHale's.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Most likely not.
I mean, it should give NRG vision control over this Baron pit, right? And Dhokla's going to be able to push out this wave in top side.
This is a little sneaky
Now
Contractz.
we're just starting it.
Contractz, FBI, and Daisy are 2.5 manning Baron.
They have blue trinkets. They just need to think it, and they'll be able to see.
Think it with your trinket. Okay, we've got Baron down to 8K. NRG's still hanging around for now. Double teleports coming in, one from either side. Busio standing on top of the NRG reinforcement zone, but he may have walked a little bit too close. Busio with a flash out, eats one more rocket. They won't kill him just yet, but Huhi burns him down. NRG still got all 5 alive as Bwipo has to disengage with the Serix Gage. Inspire going on a killing spree right back into the back line. Another blooming blows, another kill for Fly, a double over to Massu, and FBI and Huhi and Dhokla are all gone, traded for Busio alone.
What a finish there by FlyQuest in that fight. Inspired with the double completed, I'd say like full price department store items compared to the thrift store from Contractz is more effective when you're in a long 5v5. So they get that, they equalize the gold, and now they're turning for third Drake.
You gotta buy that name brand. Sometimes it's basically the same thing. Other times it makes a difference, and it made a difference here for FlyQuest. Let's watch it again.
Yeah, the big thing here for me is watching where FlyQuest's carries are in response to NRG. They get the equalizer off, Daisy is frontlining, but the mom comes through, and when we talk about how Jhin works in these team comps, everyone is locked down so that Massu can just fire completely.
Man, so much space there created by the Renekton. And you know what? Just do it again. That's
Just do it again.
Do it again. Energy's back on Baron.
But they don't Jhin ult up.
Energy's back on Baron, and FlyQuest is back to being ready to stop him.
It's low.
Okay, Baron at 4K. Bwipo's already popped the dominance. Inspired making his way into the pit. Can he try to steal it away? No, he has to go golden just for a second. Bwipo's onto FBI, though. The shutdown on Inspired. Palafox grabbing a kill there. Contractz still in the pit. Baron's going to be secured by Energy. For the fight after, they've already lost Dhokla. They got to be careful. Massu's now on the run. Palafox takes them down. The fight's going to end for Energy. They're looking to take this. A triple over to Palafox. A double back over to Quad the other way. Bwipo is cutting Palafox down. This dude is unleashed. Yeah, Croc. Bwipo is the king of the river.
Bwipo and Quad at the tail end of that fight popped off. Quad dodged so many rockets from Palafox, who is a couple pixels away from a penta. This almost worked.
Yeah, and you see Bwipo on the back line, keeping FBI out of the fight was also huge here. They get the Baron down, Equalizer goes down in a great spot. Here comes Palafox, cleans up Massu.
And look at this, Bwipo and Quad. Quad hits 225 stacks mid-fight. So it turns on right here. One rocket or even auto from Palafox probably kills Quad, but the stun lands on Palafox as the root lands on Quad, so there can be no follow-up. And that's the moment where you're relieved if you're Fly.
Yo, Alan, please go in first. Just go, okay? I had to run it down because you're not going.
He is the CEO right now, for sure. But then that's what happened. He ran in first. He died. Energy got the Baron. There's still a Baron buff on Contractz. So if they get a wave pushing with Contractz, they could still threaten a turret. So a pretty close game state still, even after that clutch fight by FlyQuest.
I think one of the most important parts about when you punish a team for taking Baron is if you reduce it to just one Baron buff or a couple Baron buffs, but it's nobody that can separate, you drastically reduce the power and the potential Baron power play because of the fact that they can't push multiple lanes at once. So Contractz is the fuel for this engine. It's kind of ironic since he's a piece of wood, and that's typically what those do. But this bottom lane is burning up right now. 2-3 turret about to die already. FlyQuest shows up fast enough to protect it, but it is so incredibly low. Bwipo's on the front line. Mob comes in. Palafox gets away, but just barely. Busio's still here frontlining. Energy trying to stay alive, but they got to scramble. Bwipo's finding another one. Quad goes on a killing spree. Everybody on Energy is dropping left, right, and center. And FlyQuest found a beautiful punish. Inspired running after Contractz. He is the only one left standing.
That is exactly how FlyQuest want this team composition to work. They understand exactly what they have to do when NRG push up. Like we talked about, there's only the one Baron buff onto Contractz, right? So even though he's there buffing their damage dealers on the siege, and it's looking good, as soon as they push up here, you watch Dhokla. He's in Narnia over here, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's not getting to the fight anytime soon, even though he starts TP right here. They've already set up their team composition. And then Bwipo immediately, again, he's been so good at targeting both FBI and Palafox in these fights.
I feel like every piece of CC hit Palafox that fight. It was the Leona ult, there was a sleep, there was a Renekton flash stun. He had the McHales, and for some reason, Nuke Duck is over it. Bro, you're about to win the series if they keep this up.
Someone please check on Nuke Duck. Someone go make sure he is okay. FlyQuest is still holding on. They are fighting for their lives. It's 30 seconds until the next Drake spawns. They use Mob. It sets up perfect for the Deadly Flourish to have the hard CC on Huhi. He's going to try to escape as again, Bwipo goes after Palafox. He messes up his QSS. He's not getting away. as NRG has to still try to get their remaining guys out of trouble, but Inspired has killed Huhi. FBI's trapped in the middle of the FlyQuest team. Quad is unstoppable, and it's only a Rumble and an Ivern against all of FlyQuest squad.
And it's a disaster for NRG, who were about to drop down to the lower bracket. Inspired completely 1v2'd the top of that fight to buy them time. They're teleporting in with the 5v2, and they might look to end.
It looks like they want the throat right now. FlyQuest going for the kill shot. NRG might have had a good early game, but too many mistakes turned into too many punishes. It was too much to endure, and FlyQuest are gonna come back from that deficit. They're gonna finish this series 3-1, and they're gonna go on to face Cloud9 next week.
They get the 3-1. Inspired had the most CS on the team, by the way, at the end of that game on the Lillia. So displaying both styles here of the mage mids versus the meta that has happened throughout summer. They don't make the swiftest end of NRG, but they take care of business and move on to face Cloud9 next week.
Yeah, and for NRG, I do think we did see more signs of life from them today, right? Like, they played their best, I would say, game that we've seen them play in a long time, as we see FlyQuest take a bow. And that was massive for me, especially going up against a Dignitas team that fell so flat against 100 Thieves.
Yeah, for NRG, that's just what I feel like that's the takeaway you need to have from this, is that you did take the one game. You should have been able to take the win in this fourth one, and hopefully they can convert that into meaningful growth over the course of the next week before their battle in the lower bracket. It will be the first elimination match against Dig, but now let's go back to FlyQuest. Let's go back on stage with Azael for an interview.
All right, thanks, Flowers. I'm here. Busio, you just took down your first series in playoffs. You have the big matchup against Cloud9 set up next week. How are you feeling about it?
Pretty good. I mean, this was more of a warm-up, and just getting ready for C9 next week for sure, yeah.
Did it still feel like a warm-up during the series? And I think that was a lot of people's expectation, but it started to feeling like it was getting a bit more competitive there.
That's why it's a warm-up. You know, it's the first series.
Okay.
Still like a bit of nerves, you know, just like not really playing fully ready. But yeah, that's why I'm glad we had this game before we face C9.
How happy were you with how you played and how you guys played as a bot lane and your preparation coming into this series? You know, I think your Bard game was really impressive in particular, but, you know, you probably wanted to have the 3-0.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, the second game, my team fighting wasn't great, but also it was like a pretty chaotic game. And, like, they had the bot prowess, so it wasn't that easy to do much. But overall, we played fine. Definitely a lot to review. Even in this last game that we just won, like, the early game was pretty sus. So, yeah, just glad we have the games that we can watch now.
Well, obviously you just finished, but if there's one thing you wanted to take away from this series, you know, to try to improve on for next week, what would that be?
Probably knowing when to do something versus when to not. Because in these kind of slow playoff games, it's pretty important to know when you should be going for a play versus when you shouldn't. Like when we're slowly winning and we're just going to win the game if nothing happens versus when we actually have to go for plays. That's a pretty important mindset shift to get. Yeah.
Is that something that you think, you know, becomes more difficult to do in playoffs where maybe the stakes are higher, the nerves are maybe there a little bit more?
The games are just slower. So there's less random situations and it's just slower. So then you really need to choose your fights.
So going into next week, what are your expectations about the bot lane matchup against Cloud9? Feeling pretty good about it?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I don't think C9's bot lane is the best in the league. I think we're better than them, so yeah.
Would you guys have yourselves as the best bot lane in the league right now then?
I would say us or TL.
Okay.
For sure, yeah.
So you're expecting to be able to take out Cloud9 next week?
Yeah, of course.
All right, well, we'll see if you can do it. Congratulations on the win. You played really well today. Back to everyone at the lounge. Good job, man.
What's up, guys?
Congrats.
Oh my God. Oh. That wasn't a fast series. That was somewhat competitive. What would you call that series?
I mean, it was not fast, but it also did feel like FlyQuest, you know, was going to win for the majority of it. So I kind of agree with Busio. That was their warm-up.
Yeah.
There were some things that they definitely needed to warm up.
True.
Definitely some errors that they needed to clean up. And I like that they're kind of viewing it as this training before their rematch with Cloud9. That's going to be super exciting. So hopefully for their sake, they can clean some of those things up. They showed some fun, Bwipo counterpick classics as well.
That's true. Actually, that's something that is going to be a really fun takeaway. Not just his fun picks like Volibear and Darius, but also just like the mage picks that we're finally seeing from Quad now that the meta's kind of shifted towards that for him. So there's a lot there. I just liked, at least from NRG side, that they showcase some fight, that they are improving upon this. That being said, enough of that. Enough about your financial situation now that NRG has lost this one out.
we didn't even mention that.
But it was on the top of everyone's mind. Let's talk about Player of the Series. Player of the Series goes to QUAD. Quad played really damn well this series.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like for a while, Quad has been really, really consistent for this team. We first saw it when he was playing like high-pressure Lucian games, his Tristana games, but now using the mages as well, which he was known for so long. Just very consistent, good pressure without a lot of necessary resources being allocated to him early. Like, doesn't get a lot of jungle hover time early on, doesn't get a lot of, support ganks either, even though we did see more this series. But I feel like him and Inspired were quite consistent. The bottom lane had some really good games, like the Ashe and Bard game was insane for Massu and Busio, but then some of the other games were a little bit misses for them, and it was a little bit of a roller coaster.
Ooh, the positioning for that team fight as well for Quad was really damn good. Quad, my GOAT, that is true. Played that series really well. You already mentioned bot lane. Even though Busio's coming out thinking we made a lot of mistakes, blah, 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 kind of going through all the negatives, he performed really well. And to your point, just the team looked great.
Yeah, I mean, it's really funny, too, to think back. Remember when they first got Quad and how much controversy it was because they were getting rid of Jensen? And then you have APA like trash talking and he's like, bring back Jensen.
Yeah.
This Quad guy sucks. But Quad now, it's hard to imagine this FlyQuest without him.
Yeah.
He's such a critical part to their game plan now that I think he's going to be critical for the rest of their playoffs as well. And I'm excited for the rematch with Cloud9.
We've got a long road ahead of us, but for now, let's take a look at this week. Let's pull up the Samsung SSD Fast 5 for this one just to see if there are any names that pop up to you. Oh my God, there's a big screen so I can actually look at all of the names. Quid, Quad, Jensen. All of the people who just mentioned, including me accidentally saying Quid instead of Quad throughout the day. There's a few of that. For Fastest Legendary, anything that comes to your, that you are catching here?
I mean, Contractz is up there also. We got some energy representation with Contractz and Huhi for jungle support, fastest level 6 and fastest items as well. In the game that NRG did win, Contractz Lillia was doing so much work for them. So definitely, always has been a really critical part for the success of that team. And of course, they do get another chance.
They do. We'll have to look ahead of that one. But for now, thank you to our friends at Samsung for powering our stage PCs, all split long, and the speed and reliability of the Samsung 990 Pro SSDs. They're damn good. Wish I could nab them, but you guys at home can. That being said, let's take a look at the bracket. So, as you were saying, you were looking ahead. What matchup already catches your eyes? I
mean, it's for sure the C9 FlyQuest, right? Everyone is going to be drawn to that one because all split long. We had our top 3 teams as our big gap between the other teams.
Yeah.
But I would also like to put forward the suggestion of 100 Thieves versus TL. After 100 Thieves completely dismantled Dignitas, I am actually really hyped for them to now test everything that they've been able to build and improve on this playoffs and this split with bringing in Tomo and everybody playing so much better on 100 Thieves now. I'm actually really excited to see them tested against the best team in the league in Team Liquid. I don't expect 100 Thieves to win that, but I do expect them to give us a fun series and really push them.
They definitely feel like the wild card so far in playoffs because they made that huge adjustment with bringing in Tomo, as you've mentioned, coming into playoffs. So you don't know what it'll look like. Maybe they can catch a game off of Team Liquid, but when they go, I said when. You know what? You already know where my prediction's going for that series. But if they go into the lower bracket, they can make a lot of damage happen. That's going to be it for us, guys. We're going to be coming back on Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. Friday, Saturday, Sunday going into next week. That's going to be Dignitas that we're going to be seeing there. So take it out, check it out. For now, we're going to be going to APA stream. We're going to be sending it to APA. So start trash talking him so maybe he can trash talk you back and you can clip it for your friends.
Hi, Yappa.
Hey, Yappa. Who threw that? Oh, that was Emily. I'm throwing back. Hey, hey, throw it all over there. Get it.
Care for yourselves, guys. Care for yourselves.
Can I get tower, yeah?
I'm fine. Wukong flashed in. Wukong flashed in.
Oh, they're going on Karma?
I pushed the Rakan away.
Come.
The Rakan's ult is down, okay? This is fine. I block.
As it died, we are
Let's
coming.
fight together. Yes, we win here.
Wukong no flash. Wukong no flash. Sign no flash.
Nice job, guys.
Go slow. He has no flash.
IQ 3 them all.
Shield and 2 Bwipo.
I'm fine. Thank you.
Kill him.
Nice, well played,
Shield
guys.
and 2.
Don't go too deep.
I'm marking Rakan.
Just hit front.
Rakan's marked.
Big shockwave. They're all dead.
Yeah.
Rakan is ulting now. Nice squad.
I want to go on thingy here. Okay, nice.
Has ulti.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We look to end here, okay? Pre-win is ruined. Nice job.
Good job.
Turn, okay? Yeah,
Turn. We're fighting already? Yeah.
Right on the map.
One shot.
Watch out, Viego, guys.
Yeah.
We're
Just
just
on his
looking
Azir. I'm looking at Azir after. I'll look at. Actually, I'll help you with this.
Yeah, you guys can just hit front.
I've done him too.
Just watch me.
Help here. I can look here.
Yeah.
Okay, no problems.
Looking at Azir.
Tower, guys.
I'm gonna just drop ulti, okay? Mark for me. Mark for me, I'm dropping ult. Oh, is Dolly behind?
Yeah.
Dolly and I flash, guys. Viego.
Viego.
Azir no
stopwatch.
I'm on their carries.
Yeah, kill them.
Nice.
Kill this guy.
Help me.
Kill him.
Ah, big. Guys. Okay, just
You lined that with me, bro. Good job, guys.
Ziggs is caught mid, okay? Ziggs is mid.
I'm gonna ult their backline. They're clumped.
Nice.
Very nice.
I don't maybe. Aro is coming.
Holy, you're a smart.
Take top tier 2 and... It's fine.
Leona, 31.
We are getting pentakill.
No, I can't actually. I didn't get my reset.
I can block.
I'm fine. Just end, okay, guys? Don't have too much fun.
Careful.
I'm done.
I will heal up. Careful of Ziggs box.
Yeah, the minions will do the work. Nice job, guys.
Kill him.
Nice.
Nice arrows, Massu. Goated. I'll Q rumble.
No flash, no cleanse on MF here. She will ult from here, okay? Careful, guys. From here, MF, no flash, no cleanse, no sums. I'm
You
coming.
win. Renekton is really strong. Corki flashed in.
Corki no flash.
Yeah, just kite. Wait your spell.
Play together.
Yeah, don't be scared. Sorry, be scared. I'm fine. Be scared, I win, okay?
Yo, Alan, please go in first. Just go, okay?
No QSS. Corki no W, no QSS, no flash.
Yeah, he's dead.
Casper, we're winning for free.
Yeah, I know.
I'm going in.
Following you. I'm far, but I'm coming.
What?
Keep going.
Ian 2.
If we can reach, we can end. They don't have much damage.
I'm
Go
pushing
mid.
mid.
Nice job, guys.
I will TP.